Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Cloverfield. And this movie came out in 2008, and it's directed by Matt Reeves, the same director as The Batman, for those who didn't know. And this is a found footage monster movie, and it basically is just an hour and a half where it kind of gives you a little bit of build up to what the characters are like, and gives you a little bit of context of like where they are in their life. And then the movie just has a monster in it. There's an attack, and these characters are just trying to like do what they can to survive, and it's kind of fun. And I enjoyed the movie overall, and I've seen this movie a couple of times, and I've always enjoyed it, and it was fun and enjoyable. And I kind of want to talk about my experience overall with this movie. I never actually saw this movie back when it came out in theaters. I believe when it was like being promoted, I saw the trailers for sure. And I think I saw like the first trailer that premiered with the first Transformers. I know I saw that movie in theaters. And I've always been curious as like, what is this movie? This looks interesting, and I just never saw it. And then sometime later we got 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I never saw that in theaters. And for the longest time I haven't seen either of those two Cloverfield movies. And then the Cloverfield Paradox came out on Netflix, and I watched that, and it was really, really bad. And I believe after I watched that, then I finally got around to watching those first two Cloverfield movies. And I've always enjoyed this one, and I do appreciate this movie. I don't think this movie's great or a masterpiece, and I do feel as though it is a successful movie in terms of like what it's trying to go for. Like, some of the comedy works for me, and I like the first 15 minutes a lot. That's where the character stuff really worked for me, and I was into it and enjoying it. And TJ Miller, I was fine with him for the first half of the movie, but after that point he kind of got a little annoying after a while, and there was one part with him that I found to be just unintentionally hilarious. And I know J.J. Abrams, he produced this movie. He didn't direct it, but from what I know, he's been messing up a lot of properties and just making them worse as a result, and just talking about mystery boxes and giving out these big questions, and they're interesting questions, and he's great at marketing, but when it comes to answers, it doesn't pay off really in a way that's satisfying. But to me, in a movie like this is kind of where it belongs, in a found footage movie where there aren't really any answers. You don't really know what's going on, and you're just supposed to come up with the answers on your own. And luckily, whether or not you figure out the answers to these questions, it doesn't make the movie better or worse. It's just in the background. You can think about them, and it doesn't hurt the movie in any way. And the only issue I had with this movie, when it came to being found footage, it worked for most of the movie, except in the subway tunnel scene. And I think it's a good scene, but they kind of subtly play this music. It's kind of building up the tension. But it doesn't really work in a movie like this, because you're supposed to believe as though this is real. And when you throw in music, it doesn't really add to the film. It just feels manipulative. It's why are you doing that? And as far as the performances go, no one is particularly great in this movie. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just I'm not going to remember this movie for the performances. It's mostly just the experience that it's offering, a nice, fun monster movie that's just nice, simple, and to the point, and it doesn't get bogged down by any stupid crap. And when it comes to sound, I do think that's really what helps the movie a lot, is that you can really believe that these things are real from the perspective of the camera. It doesn't feel like you're in the environment. It feels like the camera is an actual part of the environment, so you kind of hear it kind of feels like a video camera almost, and that's intentional for obvious reasons. And I thought that that was well handled, and the special effects in the movie for 2008, I think they're pretty good, and even today, I think they look pretty good for the most part. I don't feel as though any of it was inappropriately used, and I do think the design of the Cloverfield monster, whenever you do see it, it's very minimal, but when you do see it, I do think it looks very good. It's convincing, and it feels as though it's a part of the environment. So in the end, Cloverfield, it's a good movie. I like it, and it's a fun experience for me. It's not perfect, it's not amazing, but it's solid. It's one of very few found footage movies I've seen that I like. Blair Witch Project, there's Paranormal Activity, and this. Those three I like. The rest of them are pretty bad. Really horrible, and just there's nothing even to say about them. They're just bad, and avoid them. Maybe there's like a couple more left, but I don't think I'm gonna find them anytime soon. So check this one out. Even if you're not really a fan of found footage movies, I do think that you might enjoy this one, and I do really enjoy like the idea of like how they marketed this movie. I know this is a little off topic, but from what I know, apparently in the original first trailer for this movie that premiered with the first Transformers, they didn't even say the title for the movie. It's just you saw these images, and you just saw a little clip. You saw the Statue of Liberty's head just flying through the streets, and it didn't even say the title of the movie. I think it just said like the release date for the movie, and that was it. So I was like, if you want to see this movie, remember this date. And this is one of those scenarios where I would say the trailers are probably better than the movie. But that's not to say this is a bad movie by any means, and I do enjoy this film, and I'll definitely see it again. So check this movie out whenever you get the chance, and with all that being said, I'm going to give Cloverfield a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Cloverfield, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for... it's 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's like, I might as well just talk about it now that I'm fresh off of Cloverfield, and I think that it'll be a fun experience watching both of these back to back. So look forward to my review of 10 Cloverfield Lane, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.